lecture number 22 of engineering thermodynamics. In last lecture, we have seen the two types of energy, available energy and unavailable energy. Whenever heat is supplied to the system, that heat is converted into two parts, that is available part and unavailable part. Available part is a work done and unavailable part is heat rejected. Consider a Carnot cycle. TS diagram for a Carnot cycle we have already seen. Carnot cycle in ideal gas. Carnot cycle consists of two reversible isothermal process and two reversible adiabatic process. Heat addition and heat rejection in a Carnot cycle takes place in isothermal process, and work done and work consumption takes place in a reversible adiabatic process. Expansion process gives the work and compression process absorbs the work. Consider first process isothermal heat addition process, second adiabatic expansion process, third isothermal heat rejection process, and fourth adiabatic compression process. In expansion process, system gives the work. In compression process, system absorbs the work. Therefore, net work done is work done of expansion minus work done of compressor. During isothermal compression, during isothermal process, heat is supplied to the system, and during isothermal process, heat is rejected from the system. Therefore, net heat transfer is equal to Q1 minus Q2. We know that whenever we have to find heat supplied, we consider TS diagram, and area under the TS diagram represents the heat transfer. Therefore, this area represents the heat transfer, and the area below this line represents the heat rejected. This area represents the heat rejected. Therefore, this is a useful heat which has been converted into useful work. Consider another TS diagram in which same amount of heat, that is Q1, in which same amount of heat Q1 is supplied as a finite temperature difference. Look at here. Here heat is supplied at temperature T1. Heat is supplied at temperature T1. Consider another process in which heat is supplied at temperature T1 dash. Same amount of heat is supplied. We know that Q is a product of temperature and change in entropy. Q is a product of temperature and change in entropy. For same amount of heat transfer, product of temperature and change in entropy must be same. Here the heat is supplied Q1 at temperature T1 and change in entropy is delta S. For T1 dash, when the heat is supplied at T1 dash at a finite temperature difference, since T1 dash is less than T1, therefore change in entropy for this process has to be greater than delta S, and for this finite temperature difference, change in entropy is delta S dash. Both Q1 in this process and this in this process is same. Therefore, for this Q1 is equal to T1 into delta S. For this Q1, T1 dash into delta S dash. Since this Q1 and this Q1 is same, therefore T1 into delta S is equal to T1 dash into delta S dash. And this part of energy is rejected and is called as an increase in unavailable energy, or we can say decrease of available energy. When transfer of it takes place through a finite temperature difference, there is a decrease in available energy. So transferred. Consider a reversible heat engine operating between a temperature T1 and T0. This Q1 is a heat supplied at temperature T and with a change in entropy delta S, and heat Q2 is a heat rejected at temperature T0. Here heat is rejected at temperature T0, and temperature T0 is the atmospheric or the surrounding temperature. Therefore, heat rejected Q2 is the product of T0 into delta S. Therefore, work done is the available part of energy, which is equal to T1 minus T0 into delta S. This uh, available part of energy is heat supplied minus heat rejected. Work done is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected. Q1 is a heat supplied, Q2 is a heat rejected. This is a T1. Q1 minus Q2 is equal to T1 minus T0 into delta S. Assume that Q1 is a heat transfer through a finite temperature difference from a reservoir or a source at T1 to a engine absorbing heat at T1 dash lower than T1. T1 dash is a less than T1. The availability of the Q1 as received by the engine at T1 dash can be found by allowing the engine to operate reversibly in the cycle between T1 dash and T0, receiving Q1 and Q2 dash. Now heat rejected for finite temperature difference is a Q2 dash, and Q1 is a heat supplied in both the cases in reversible Carnot cycle as well as in considering finite temperature difference. Q1 is a heat supplied, but Q2 dash is a heat rejected for finite temperature difference. Now Q1 is equal to product of T1 and delta S for first case and T1 dash into delta S dash for second case. In both the cases heat transfer is same. Therefore T1 into delta S is equal to T1 dash into delta S dash. But T1 dash is a T1 is a greater than T1 dash. T1 is a greater than T1 dash. Therefore delta S dash is a greater than delta S. Since this product is a constant, product of T1 into delta S and product of T1 dash into delta S is a constant, as the T1 is greater than T1 dash, then delta S dash has to be greater than delta S. Q2 is a heat rejected, and heat is rejected at temperature T0. T0 is the surrounding temperature. Q2 Q2 is equal to T0 delta S, and Q2 dash equal to T0 delta S dash. In second case for finite temperature difference also heat is rejected at temperature surrounding temperature T0. But in this case entropy is delta S dash is greater than delta S. Therefore delta S dash is greater than delta S. Therefore we can say that heat rejected for finite temperature difference is greater than heat rejected for the first case. As the heat rejection increases, work done decreases, or we can say decrease in available part of energy or increase in unavailable part of energy. Therefore work done for latter case means for finite temperature difference is heat supplied minus heat rejected, that is Q2 dash, Q1 minus Q2 dash, and Q1 is a T1 dash delta S dash, or we can say T1 into delta S, both are same, minus Q2 is equal to T0 delta S dash, and W is equal to Q1 minus Q2, and Q1 is T1 delta S minus T0 delta S dash, or we can say work done for second case, work done for finite temperature difference is less than work done for reversible process, because in reversible process we get maximum work, but for finite temperature difference we are getting less work. Therefore W dash is less than W. Therefore we can say that heat rejected in finite temperature difference is a greater than reversible process. The loss of available energy due to irreversibility heat transfer through a finite temperature difference between the source and the working fluid during a heat addition process is given as W minus W dash. W minus W dash is equal to Q2 dash minus Q2, which is T0 delta S dash minus delta S. T0 and delta S is a Q. Therefore, decrease in available energy is equal to T0 delta S dash minus delta S. Remember this formula, decrease in available energy, T0 delta S dash minus delta S. Thus, in the decrease in available energy is the product of lowest feasible temperature, and lowest feasible temperature for the maximum work output is a T0. Lowest feasible temperature of the heat rejection and addition entropy change in the system while receiving the heat reversibly, compared to the case of reversible heat transfer from a same source. The greater is the temperature difference, that is T1 minus T1 dash. Greater is the temperature difference. This T1 is a heat supplied for the reversible heat engine, and T1 dash is a heat supplied for finite temperature difference. If this temperature difference is greater, the heat rejected is maximum. If temperature difference increases, Q2 dash also increases, and the greater will be the unavailable part of energy supplied. That is, heat rejection will be more if T1 minus T1 dash is more. Energy is said to be degraded each time it flows through a finite temperature difference. That is why second law of thermodynamics is sometimes called as the law of degradation of energy, and energy is said to be run downhill. Look at this. This is a run downhill, means degradation of energy is called as a run downhill. Next, availability in the non-flow process. Non-flow process means closed system. Consider a closed system in which piston cylinder arrangement is given, and inside the cylinder there is a gas, and gas being a system. When the piston compresses the gas, it rejects the heat, and when piston or the gas expands, the work is obtained. Consider a heat is supplied from this piston cylinder arrangement. Heat is supplied from the gas in the cylinder to the heat engine. Heat engine takes the heat from the fluid. The part of heat taken by the fluid is converted into work done, and remaining part of heat is rejected. And this rejected part of heat is called as unavailable energy, and the converted part of it, that is work done, is called as available energy. Consider a expansion process. Process 120 is an expansion process. Process 120 is an expansion process. During this process, system gives the work done, and the heat during this process is at T1 into S1 minus H0. This expansion process takes place from pressure P1 to P0, and P0 is the atmospheric pressure. Let us consider a system consisting of a fluid in the cylinder behind the piston. Let us consider a system consists of a fluid behind the piston. The fluid expanding reversibly from initial condition of P1 and T1 to final atmospheric condition of P0 T0. Initial pressure of the gas is, initial condition is 1, that is pressure P1 and temperature T1, and expands this gas up to pressure P2 and temperature T0, up to pressure P0 and temperature T0. Imagine also that system works in a conjunction with a reversible heat engine. This system is working in conjunction with a heat engine. Imagine that the system works in conjunction with a reversible heat engine which receives the heat from reversibly from the fluid in the cylinder, such that the working substance of a heat engine follows the cycle 01 L0 as shown in figure. Means this system supplies the heat to the heat engine, and this cycle is repeated again and again. Therefore, the system undergoes expansion. System undergoes 0 1 0 L. System undergoes 0 1 LO. System undergoes 0 1 LO, where you can see that at point 1 and at point L, entropy is same. Therefore, S1 is equal to SL, and you can see at point 0 and at point L, temperature is same. Therefore, T0 and TL is equal to same, where S1 is equal to SL, S1 is equal to SL, and T0 is equal to TL, T0 is equal to TL. The work done by the engine is given by, that is, work done of engine is heat supplied minus heat rejected. Heat supplied minus heat rejected is equal to work done. And heat supplied is Q, and heat is rejected at T0 S1 minus H0. Heat rejected is T0 S1 minus H0. This is equation number 1. The heat supplied to the engine is equal to the heat rejected by the fluid in the cylinder. Whatever heat is supplied to the engine is equal to heat rejected from the cylinder. Whatever heat is supplied by the fluid is equal to the heat taken by the engine. The same heat is supplied to the engine. Therefore, for the fluid in the cylinder undergoing a process 120, we have, according first law, heat supplied is equal to change in internal energy plus work done. But this is we are considering in the sense of system. Therefore, heat is rejected from the system. Heat is rejected from the gas. We have taken it minus is equal to change in internal energy plus work done by the fluid. Therefore, work done by the fluid is equal to change in internal energy, that is U1 minus U0 minus Q. Now, adding equation number 1 and 2. Equation number 1 gives the work done by the engine, and equation number 2 gives work done by the fluid. Therefore, work done by the fluid plus work done by the engine is equal to U1 minus U0 minus Q. U1 minus U0 minus Q plus Q1 minus T0 minus Q1 minus T0 into S1 minus H0. Q1 minus T0 into S1 minus H0. Now Q will get cancelled. It will be like U1 minus U0 minus T0 S1 minus H0. The work done by the fluid on the piston less than the work done by the fluid, since there is no work done on the atmosphere which is at constant pressure P0. Therefore, work done on atmosphere is equal to P0 V0 minus V1. Therefore, from this work we have to subtract the work done on the atmosphere. Therefore, maximum work available is equal to U0 minus U1 minus U0 minus T0 into S1 minus H0 minus P0 V0 minus V1. Now rearranging it as U1 minus P0 V1, U1 plus P0 V1 minus T0 S1 minus U0 plus P0 V0 minus T0 H0. We are arranging in this way. Consider this first term as a A1 and this second term as a A2. Therefore, A1 is equal to, or A is equal to U plus P0V minus T0S. A is equal to U plus P0V minus T0S. This is called as non-flow availability function. This A is a non-flow availability function. Availability in steady flow system for open system. In last expression we have seen it is for non-flow, that is closed system. Now it is for open system. Consider a fluid flowing steadily with a velocity v c1 from a reservoir in which the pressure and temperature remains constant at P1 and T1 through an apparatus to atmospheric pressure P0. Atmospheric pressure is P0 and system is working at a constant pressure and temperature P1 and T1. Let us reservoir be at height Z1, means heat is supplied from height Z1 and heat is rejected at Z0 and Z0 is at height 0. For maximum work to be obtained from the apparatus, the exit velocity C0 must be 0. For maximum work to be obtained, exit velocity C0 must be 0. It can be shown from a previous article that a reversible heat engine working between a limit would reject T0 S1 minus H0 unit of heat, where T0 is the atmospheric temperature. Thus we have maximum work done for flow process. Maximum work done for flow process. Here we are applying steady flow energy equation, that is H1 plus C1 square by 2 plus GZ1, this kinetic energy and this potential energy at inlet and this at exit. At exit we are considering that velocity is velocity is minimum, that is uh, C0 is 0 and datum Z1 is equal to 0. Therefore H1 plus C1 square by 2 plus GZ1 minus H0 minus Q T0 S1 minus H0. In several thermodynamic systems, the kinetic and potential energy terms are negligible. Therefore, we can neglect C1 square by 2 plus GZ1. Therefore, W max is equal to H1 minus T0 S1 minus H0 minus T0 H0. Why we are writing in this form? Because H1 minus T0 S is a B and H0 minus T0 H0 is B0. The property B is equal to H minus T0S is called as a steady flow availability function. The equation B is equal to H minus T0S, the function B like a function A in previous derivation, B is like A is a composite property of a system and its environment. This is called as a Kenan function. This is called as a Kenan function. The alternate name of availability and unavailability quantities T0 delta S are the energy respectively. These are the energies. Okay. The only difference between A and B is pressure. Here you can see H is equal to U plus PV. Therefore, here we are writing P and here we are writing P0. A is equal to U plus P0V minus T0S and B is equal to H minus T0S and this H is equal to U plus PV. Difference between A and B is only of pressure. Here it is atmospheric pressure and it is general pressure. Helmholtz and Gibbs function. Consider first law of thermodynamics. W is equal to Q1 minus G0 minus U1. Q is equal to product of T into delta S, U1 minus U0, and ds is equal to S1 minus S0 minus S1. We are writing it, expanding it. T is equal to S0 minus S1 minus U0 minus U1. Now we are writing in term of U1 minus TS1 minus U0 minus TS0. We are just rearranging it. Now U1 minus T0S or U minus TS represents the Helmholtz function. U minus Ts is a Helmholtz function. This gives maximum possible output when heat Q is transferred at constant temperature and is a case with a very large source. If work against atmosphere is equal to P0 V0 minus V1, then maximum work will be this work minus work against the atmosphere. W minus work against the atmosphere is P0 V0 minus V1. Now this work is equal to U1 minus Ts1 minus U0 minus Ts0. Now rearranging it like U1 plus P0 V1 minus Ts1 minus U0 plus P0 V0 minus Ts0. U1 plus P0 V1 is H1. U0 plus P0 V0 equal to H0. Therefore, this becomes H1 minus Ts1 and this becomes H0 minus T0. Take this function as G and this function as G0 and this function is a Gibbs function. Therefore, W max equal to G1 minus G0. We can write it as G minus G0 minus G2 minus G0. Here G0 gets cancelled and it will be G1 minus G2 and this is called as a G is equal to H minus Ts is a Gibbs function. Similarly for steady flow system means for open system, maximum work is equal to G1 minus G0 plus change in kinetic energy and potential energy. But most of the cases we consider change in kinetic and potential energy as negligible, where K is the kinetic energy and P is the potential energy represents the kinetic and potential energy. It may be noted that Gibbs function J is equal to H minus Ts is a property of a system where availability function A U is equal U plus P0V minus T0S is a composite property of a system and surrounding. And again we can write we have already derived A is equal to U plus P0V minus T0S, B is equal to U plus PV minus T0S, G is equal to U plus PV minus Ts. Now difference in A and B is that only difference in the pressure. This is a minimum pressure which is atmospheric pressure and this is any general pressure. When the state 1 proceed to a dead state, then this P becomes P0, and we can write A is equal to B is equal to G. Now reversibility. Now what is meant by reversibility? We have seen two types of process, reversible process and irreversible process, and all ideal processes are reversible processes, and in ideal process we get maximum work done that cannot be given by any other process. All ideal processes are reversible process and all irreversible processes are actual process, or we can say all actual processes are irreversible. Consider two engine, one engine is reversible engine and second engine is irreversible engine. Reversible engine gives the work which is a maximum work and irreversible engine giving the work which is actual work. The difference between maximum work and the actual work is called as a irreversibility. The system which is not reversible is called as a irreversible. The system which is not reversible is called as a irreversible. The actual work which system does is always less than the idealized reversible work. The actual work is always less than the ideal work. Ideal work is given by reversible system and actual work is given by irreversible system. And the difference between the two is called as irreversibility of the process. If we take the difference of ideal work and the actual work, we get the value which is the irreversibility. Thus the irreversibility is written as I, and it is a difference of maximum work and actual work. Maximum work is obtained from the reversible engine and actual work is obtained by the irreversible engine. This is also sometimes referred as a degradation or dissipation. The non-flow process between the equilibrium state, when the system exchanges heat only with the environment, is a irreversibility. And irreversibility can be written as maximum work, and maximum work is equal to u1 minus u2 minus t0 s1 minus s2, and actual work is written as u1 minus u0 plus q. This is also q, but this q is supplied at temperature T0, means heat is rejected, heat not supplied, heat is rejected at atmospheric temperature, and here this heat is rejected with a finite temperature difference. By simplifying it, it is T0 S2 minus S1 minus Q, and this is a heat rejected by the system and this is heat rejected to the surrounding. Therefore, we can write as T0 delta S system plus T0 delta S surrounding. Therefore, I is equal to T0 in bracket delta S system and delta S system plus delta S surrounding. And this irreversibility factor is always greater than 0. Is equal to always greater than or equal to 0. It cannot be less than 0. It will be always greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, for steady flow process, I is equal to W max minus W, and for flow process we will consider the steady flow energy equation, and this B is a Cannon function, and B is equal to U1 plus PV, U1 plus PV, and U1 plus PV is equal to this is equal to U1 plus PV minus T delta S, T0 delta S. Maximum work is equal to B1 plus C1 square by 2 plus GZ1 minus B2 plus C2 square by 2 plus GZ2, and work actual work is equal to H1 plus C1 square by 2 plus GZ1 minus H2 plus C2 square by 2 plus GZ2 plus Q. Now here we are considering Q, and here the B itself consider Q. Q is equal to T into delta S, and B is equal to what? B is equal to U1 plus PV minus delta S. Now when we simplify this equation, C1 square by 2, C1 square by 2 will get cancelled, C2 square by 2, C2 square by 2 get cancelled, only we will left, and here H1 will be cancelled also. Why? U1 minus PV is equal to H1, and U2 minus U2 minus PV or P0V is equal to H2, and H2 will get cancelled, only here T0 S2 minus S1 minus Q will be remaining, and this S2 minus S1 is a delta S of surrounding, and this is a T0 delta S of surround. This is system and this is surrounding. Therefore, I is equal to T0 delta S system plus delta S surrounding. It means irreversibility is same for closed system and open system. The same expression for reversibility applies to both flow and non-flow process. The quantity T0 delta system plus delta surrounding represents an increase of unavailability energy. Now effectiveness is also called as second law efficiency. Effectiveness is defined as the ratio of actual useful work to the maximum useful work. The useful output of a system is given by increase of availability of the system. We are considering this for the heat supplied. Effectiveness It is epsilon is equal to increase of availability of the surrounding, loss of availability of the system. This is we are considering with a heat rejected, and when the heat is rejected, availability of the surrounding increases and availability of the system decreases. Therefore, effectiveness for heat rejected is increase of availability of surrounding upon loss of availability of system. For compression or a heat process, the effectiveness is given by the increase of availability of the system upon loss of availability of the surrounding. Therefore, it can be written as the ratio of useful work to the maximum useful work. The effectiveness of an actual process is always less than unity. The effectiveness is always less than 1. Thus, the effectiveness of the process is the measure of extent to which advantage has been taken of an opportunity to obtain useful work. Now, next part is a highlight. Actually, we have completed this part, and these are the highlight. We'll see highlight in the next lecture.